metrics glasses, all my analytics glasses for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Ramos, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What y'all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey, everybody. Welcome on into the Big Factor. We're going with the inmates running the asylum today here. Pat McGuire, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson. Fellas, it's a Victory Tuesday. We're going to continue this on into Tuesday. The Browns beat the Steelers on Sunday. And you know what? Doesn't matter what it looked like. Doesn't matter what it felt like. Browns beat the Steelers, guys. It's always a good day. Rob, down at the stadium there, Huntington Bank Field, what was it like down there at the stadium?
I want to say this because I didn't get a chance to say this yesterday. Shout out to the super nice people that were sitting in front of me. They drove all the way up from West Virginia. My man's, I forgot his name, but he subscribed to Big Play Sports Network live from right there. They were with a Steelers fan, and then there were 2 other nice people who I'm assuming was his girlfriend or wife with him, and then another couple. So it was a great time, great people, amazing vibes and energy at the game. Like I said yesterday, nobody was worried about a draft pick. Everyone was just super excited to get a win over the Steelers. Like, we were all waiting for that other shoe to drop. Like, Aaron Rodgers drives down the field and then, throws a touchdown or something at the end of the game, but it didn't. Everyone got excited, jumped around. You know, the downtown was buzzing a little bit. It was kind of nice out, like 50 degrees, so people walking around the bars. I stopped in at Map Room real quick before I went home.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was a great
good location.
Day.
Good location out of you there.
Good location. Jack, how did you feel about Sunday's win for the Browns?
You know, I felt great about Sunday's win for the Browns because, I mean, at the end of the day, I talk about this with my one friend Jimmy all the time. Like, they need to give me 1 win a year that it's like, okay, like, I am going to firmly put my boots in the ground. I'm coming back next year. Like, I will be a Cleveland Brown again in 2026. I don't know if the Packers win quite got it done for me week 3. Like, it was cool, but it was too early in the year. We knew it was doom and gloom regardless. Like, that was your Jameis win last year, your Jets primetime the year before, your Cade York the year before that, down against Baker. Like, you got to have that win every year. It's like, you know what? I'm back for the Brownies next year. And that was it, dude.
Yeah, 100%.
You lost with that win though. So
no, I wouldn't say. I mean,
people who might
did I lose a bet?
You lost a bet, yeah.
100%. 100%. I lost a bet.
Remind the people.
But yeah, so Chef's a great friend of mine here at the Big Play Sports Network.
Cheffery.
We had a bet. I mean, we haven't confirmed if we're gonna go Marble Room. There's been rumors of other venues.
Soft if you don't, in my opinion.
Well, no, I mean, it would be a venue change. It wouldn't be a principal change. It'd be a venue change. But so I mean, don't want to lie to the people and say, hey, we locked in this spot on this day because we didn't. But yeah, I'll be getting Zay a nice little home cooked meal here soon.
How about that? So you're thinking Valentine's Day for that, but the bet was what, over under 3.5 wins for your Cleveland Browns. They did clinch that on Sunday with their 4th win over the Steelers. It was what, 13-6, guys, in an ugly win. Yeah, an ugly win, but nonetheless, we'll take that one. We've got a lot to dive into here today, fellas, because the Browns. And that opened up, honestly, more questions than it would have answered for the Browns on Sunday, because that changes draft capital for the Browns. It moves them down from potentially the 2-3 slot of the draft to probably the 6-7 spot, which I have to do my hands. Unfortunately, how do you do, fellow kids? I have to do that with my hands. But that moves them down to about the 6th pick. It also, guys, opens up a lot of questions about Kevin Stefanski, because that 4th win, say what you will, he's 12-6 against the AFC North in his tenure as head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Do you think this saves his job at all, Jack?
You're throwing me on the spot here, man. I don't know. No, I ultimately don't at the end, and I think it's close. And I'm someone who's probably more open to Kevin returning than I think most people are in Cleveland. But at the end of the day, I think it comes back to the Dylan Gabriel pick, and if it truly was his pick, because I do think if AB was the one who identified Shadur as their guy in the 5th round, I think you wasted probably 5 weeks in the middle of the season that you would know a lot more about this ball club that would give Kevin a much more firm chance to either stay or go based off of how Shadur did in that bigger sample size. I don't know, man. I think it's just too little too late for Kev.
That could be the case. I would like to think that they had made the decision like well before that.
I would hope so.
You know, like if
so.
it's coming down to a week 17, 18 game where the season is already thrown out, you would hope they kind of already made their minds up. Could this make them rethink it a little? Maybe. I mean, when you talk about that record versus the AFC North, that's actually like very
insane.
Good. Like, that's got to be the highest percentage of any coach since we've returned in 99 without even.
There's probably another over 500.
Probably not even close. So you got to give him his credit there. And I mean, when you talk about it, like the last, I think 7 games, we've won 6 out of the last 7 matchups, and not to do it again, but against the Steelers at home, like that's something that was rare. Like for most of my young life, I never saw us like beat the team at all. Like I could count on my hands watching us win games versus Ben Roethlisberger. But like Jack said, I think it's really sad for Kevin, but I think that could definitely that reinstills all that talk of he's gonna get a job somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me believe it a little
sure.
bit. Like if how all the players speak so highly of him, and he's showing he can get his team not to quit. And maybe while it's run its course here, I think he has proven that he's at least got some good traits as an NFL coach. But sometimes, it's time to move on. It might benefit both sides to mutually part ways. So I do still think that's what's coming at the end of the season.
And I think anytime you have a bad season in the NFL, like someone's head has to get lopped off, whether it's a GM, a head coach, you bring in a new quarterback, like whatever it is, the more and more it looks like Shadur's going to be back next year. You're drafting outside of the top 2 for one of those 2 quarterbacks. Like, it ain't going to be a quarterback change. I think everyone feels safer about AB's job than Kevin's. I don't think that's a crazy statement to make. It's not going to be AB.
Ken Dorsey this year.
I mean, I don't know if there's going to be an OC to come in. There's no quarterback. You can, hey, maybe the rust is going to fall off this summer when we're down in West Virginia. Nothing. There's nothing like that. So I do think it's ultimately Kev. Because, are they going to bring in Tom Telesco, and that's going to be what the big offseason move that gets everyone?
Yeah, that was the report yesterday.
Seats in Berea.
That was the report yesterday that Josina Anderson came out with, and as Max and Zay said on Under the Land yesterday, you got to take that with about 14 grains of salt. But the Browns have been linked to a senior position for kind of a senior leadership position for Tom Telesco, as well as Chris Greer to bring in kind of some help for AB in the offseason. I don't know that changes a lot. JCU grad, though, Jack, would have been nice to see Tom Telesco in the building. I don't know if they do end up bringing him in. It doesn't really change my opinion a whole lot there, Rob.
I think they're just trying to balance AB out. AB is the guy that's really good in one sphere of being a GM, and he's like awful at the other side. And I think they're trying to bring the goal of that senior guy would to bring in someone who maybe is awful at everything AB's great at and is good at the rest of the stuff. And together it could be a marriage where we got the perfect GM. It takes 2 brains, but we get there. We got the left brain, right brain people. So I'm not completely against it.
Got a bunch of no brains.
We definitely because with the positions we need football guys.
Correct.
Like, drafting receivers, which Lord knows we're going to need this year. It doesn't always all come down to 40 and cone times, and sometimes you need a guy that could ball. Like, when they looked at Puka, he wasn't jumping off the pages at the papers. But look, he almost made the craziest catch I saw last night to force that game to possibly go into overtime. You need guys like St. Brown. Like, you need to look for football players on offense is what we're really missing. Like, Harold Fannin, football player. Like, he didn't
Carson
have the
Schlesinger, football player.
Football players. And those are two good AP picks, but he's proven he hasn't been able to do it at O-line and receiver. And that's the biggest glaring thing we're going to be looking at this offseason. So if you're bringing in a guy that could look at that, possibly be much better at it than him, I wouldn't be against it at all, especially if they stick pat. I would like to see an addition rather than just seeing absolutely no moves at all. So if it is Telesco or the other guy they mentioned, I'll take it as something.
Do you take that report from Josina Anderson as being a little bit of breadcrumbs that Kevin Stefanski would be on the way out, though? Because Paul DePodesta was out mid-season. He was kind of one of the guys in the same sort of think tank, brain trust as Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry. To me, considering that they've linked other people to a senior leadership job here in the front office in Cleveland, even after the Steelers game, I think Kevin Stefanski is still gone.
Yeah, I think more so than the report itself was getting the chance to listen and watch some of Kevin's presser from yesterday. Like, it seems where he almost knows he's a dead man walking in a way. Like, I don't know. Like, they asked him about the future. Like, do you think you're gonna be back next year? Like, all this, yada yada yada. And he just kind of I don't know, man. I'm worried about Cincinnati, but the one thing I will say is it's a privilege to be the head coach here. So I thought it was cool to hear him come out and say that. And I think, Rob, you mentioned this on the show yesterday. I think no one would argue that the most emotion you've ever seen from Kevin Stefanski as head coach came on Sunday. I think he knows he's fighting for his job. And the plan, that's the one thing that kind of gives me a little bit of, maybe should Kevin be back is how many Browns teams by the time they get to this point in the year can you not even take their temperature?
I've
there's no heartbeat.
Seen a taunting penalty in a Week
Right.
17 game.
For a 3-win team, right?
People were mad at it because they gave him a first down, but I kind of loved it. He was clapping in his face. It was a soft call, super soft call.
Yeah.
But like
Rayshon Jenkins, known Dante Moore guy, doing his best.
There's energy out there though, and it was like it was palpable. Like it started, even though it was about 50-50 in the stadium. Like for most of the game, you couldn't tell there was some the terrible towels waved at the start, not for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and there's 100% something to that too here in Cleveland as well, because as we'll talk about on the Top Dog Show today, I can pretty much guarantee you that Pittsburgh Steelers game means something completely different. Like this wasn't really just a one game thing in the win column for your Cleveland Browns, because you think of all the history of Ben Roethlisberger was 23-2-1, I believe it was, here in Cleveland Brown Stadium in his career, and
he's third in wins at our stadium.
He's third in wins at Cleveland Brown Stadium, right there on the lakefront. They're tearing that thing down, but to get some wins over the Pittsburgh Steelers, 12-6 in the AFC North, and you said 1-5-1 the Steelers are in their last 7 trips to Cleveland, or 8 trips, whatever it was. But to get a win over the Pittsburgh Steelers like that, I'll take them whenever they come. Nick said it perfectly on the post game. It feels good to win one, man, because at this point, with 3 and what we would have been, 3-12, 3-13 at this point, all the games are running together. A meaningless Week 18 game against the Bengals wouldn't do anything for me. Even if you do win that game, winning at home to the Steelers, sending off Joel Bitonio as well, and honestly, could be the swan song for Kevin Stefanski. At least we'll have this one.
So let me ask you guys this though. Obviously, you guys are less pro keeping Kevin at this moment in time than I am. I would say. It's clear the Bengals are still trying. They came out and just cakewalked over the Cardinals on Sunday. If you come out like they're all playing like it's the Bengals are trying to win the football game, if you beat them, does that at all move the needle if you win 2 division games to end the year? Like, does that at all like boost Kevin 5% even in your head, or do you think it's still
Not for me.
Before the month even started, we were where we are?
We're still dealing with the same stuff. That quiet as kept, because we've had a million other things to talk about, but the same problems. The offense looks great for the first 20 scripted plays, falls off a cliff. The run game, even though we had some success versus Buffalo, quite frankly, is just maybe not the best defense. We played a team with actual players, real Hall of Famers on the other side, couldn't do a thing. Like some of the turnovers, it's just, this is a bunch of the same stuff. The obligatory special teams gaffe. Like it's hard for me to say he could save himself with winning some games when they don't matter, but I'll say I appreciate the win, because it's been a long, rough year for the Browns, but definitely was a huge win, and felt good to watch.
Yeah, and I think it would be different too if it wasn't 2 years in a row, like where we had the Snow Bowl game last year. We were at that game, and it was an unbelievable game because you thought they were going to lose it 13 different times. But guys, the big conversation around Cleveland right now is the Browns winning that game did cost them a lot of draft capital, and it's got a lot of people big mad about some things. You talked about it with Ryan yesterday about the quarterback position, where it kind of sinks you, and as well as the relationship with Kevin Stefanski and that draft pick. We're going to get into that next, but first I got to tell you about our friends over at Garage Beer. They've got those 2 flavors, the Classic Light Lager and that Classic Lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want it to taste. It's beer-flavored beer. So scan that QR code on the screen. Give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com. Just visit local retailers that sell garage beer near you. Pick yourself some up for New Year's. The Buckeyes about to play. New Year's Day coming up. Start your year off right with some garage beer. That's drinkgaragebeer.com. Guys, we'll get into that draft capital stuff coming up next on The Big Factor.
Not everybody.
I did.
Welcome back into the Big Factor, guys. Pat McGuire, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson. It's just the 3 of us, fellas, and we got a lot of Browns to talk about. They're still coming off that 13-6 win. The Steelers kept out of the end zone on Sunday at Huntington Bank Field. A little bit of a shocker. The Steelers, this one, Rob, to me, felt like more like the Steelers lost this game without DK Metcalf and without TJ Watt. then the Browns won that game. Like, Myles Garrett was going for the sack record, but it still felt like the Steelers lost that game.
I'll never understand the game plan. And like I said, there were 2 Steelers fans who I actually was open to speaking to sitting next to me that weren't. And there was a guy behind me who was cool. It was very polite. I've been to a lot of Browns Steelers games and I didn't see a fight. And that's like
that is a little shocking.
Usually a staple. I didn't see anyone kicked out.
Dude, I heard the Bills game was like Friday Night Smackdown. I heard stuff was going down.
There's a lot of blue in that stadium. Let me tell you.
Expected, but I just didn't get what they're like. Aaron Rodgers played a terrible football game. And he's not getting enough slander for it. Like, even no matter what you say about how bad the game plan was, and Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin, pettiness, whatever, Aaron Rodgers was terrible. Like, he threw a fade ball on 4th down that was 15 yards ahead of the receiver. Then the throws at the end of the game, none of them close. Should have been a pick before the game ended that he throws over the head. He's not going through his reads. Like, if he would have been willing to maybe take 1 sack from Myles Garrett, the time he would have spent on other plays to get back to a second read or check down, he would have carved us up. Like, there were players open underneath, but all the Browns had to do was take away 1 read, and then he was either throwing it away, trying to scramble. They threw like 40 screen passes, and the screen game was just not working for them at all. I don't know why they didn't give Jaylen Warren more touches. Like, it was really bad. It was like they were trying to lose.
That's what I don't get is like watching the game, not literally live. You were watching the game live, I guess. Like, I was thinking, like, was it just like straight hubris out of like the Steelers like offense and coaching staff of like, okay, like we can avoid the record and we can skunk a ball here or there. Like, we're going to come back and beat these guys anyways. Like, we've watched the Browns lose 15 embarrassing ways already this year. Or was it that like the Steelers really didn't lose that game and we just shut them down that hard? Like, I mean, it's one of the two, no?
To me, it wasn't.
Did play great.
Yeah, the defense was phenomenal, but I think the game plan for the Steelers was terrible. I mean, this is the same exact thing they did in their.
It's Arthur Smith, right?
It's Arthur Smith, but also like that's what they did the last time we played, even in Pittsburgh too. I understand it was the Dylan Gabriel game, so it didn't really matter that much. Browns were skunked, as you would say, as when the buses arrived. You know, at the 3-point stadium, the Three River Stadium, but. Myles Garrett, that was obviously the game plan. I don't know that the Steelers were really that concerned with the sack record itself. I think they were trying to control Myles Garrett just in general, which was exactly their strategy from the last game. But guys, did you see the play where Myles Garrett, it's towards the end of the game, he's lined up on the literal numbers. Like, that's how far out Myles Garrett was trying to go to get that sack. And, I mean, he's still beating offensive linemen to get that momentum. I've never seen anything like it on a football field.
No, he's taking, like, obtuse angles. Like, I've never seen a guy have to go from that far out and rip it back in.
Yeah, he's making a left-hand turn.
I wanted to ask you this. Was there any – because, I mean, I'm sure the crowd had eyes on Myles every single play, obviously. Like, I mean, you're doing that regardless of if he's going for the sack record or not, if you're in the stadium. Was there any portion of the crowd when Alex Wright got that sack who thought it was Myles and started to go crazy?
Jim Nantz did. So.
Yes, there was a
I was going to say, Jim Nantz was like, and the sack by Alex Wright.
There was like
shout out, honor the land guest, Alex Wright.
Crowd, and I was like, guys, that's just not him.
It's
not him. But yeah, there was definitely, I'd say like 30% of the crowd thought that was the sack.
What was the mix of in general? Because like it seemed like dang near like 60-40 Bills fans. How many? What percentage were Steelers fans?
50-50.
50-50.
A lot of people down on that side by their sideline. 50-50.
That's like the Niners game was crazy.
Niners game was crazy. The Bills was even better. It was 65% Bills. If Dave said it was about 50-50 in the postgame when he was there, I'm not sure he saw the away side of the stadium over there, Dave. But guys, I got a really interesting question for you guys too, because we're going to talk about how the Browns lost some draft positioning for this one for your Cleveland Browns. They dropped down from the 2 to 3 slot all the way down to about 6 currently. I believe they're going to be ahead of Washington and that group there, but. Do you think that the Browns did the right thing by trying to win this football game, even if it hurts their draft stock?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think anyone who can't accept that fact is a loser, to be quite frank. Like, I mean, these guys are going out there, like, risking their livelihoods. Like, they want to, like, when they're telling their little kids about when they played in the NFL in 20 years, 15 years, like, they're not saying, oh, we went out there to lose for a draft pick. Like, oh, like, we went out and beat the Steelers one more time. Like, if you're Joel Battoni, like, yes, son, I got one more win against the Steelers. Like these guys don't care about, like, a lot of these guys aren't going to be back next year. They don't care about who we draft first overall or second overall. Like, the team and the coaches, like, it's like they really, every single day they're going out there. Like, this is all they do. Of course they want to win. Like, it's stupid to think that, like, you wouldn't want to win.
You'll never convince an athlete to like not play, like to lose purposely for your replacement. Essentially, is
right? Like Rob, you were a 4 or 5, right? Like you're not if Wemby's in the draft, you're not like, oh, let me miss this board, you know?
Obviously trying to win. Anyone who's done anything competitive in their life, you have a competitive bone in your body. you're out there, like, why would you not? It's your biggest rival. It's literally, they call it, like, when they make those NFL top 10 lists, this is a top 2 rivalry in the history of the sport. Like, this is the game. Like, this is what Ohio State, like, if Ohio State beat Michigan, and all of a sudden, like, oh, maybe it cost them a recruit because Ryan Day was super locked in that week and they lost a 4-star. Like, oh man, I don't think any Buckeyes fans would be crying and all up in arms about that. So it's just to the fact that there was, but it's just like, it was a subsect, bro. I think it was like the Twitter, like, you know what I mean? Like, some of the people that they're going to post every chart, every blah, 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 and then, like, you're going to hear all about it. So anytime.
I really do feel that way. There's such a vocal minority in that.
Like, the people that have denounced being Browns fans 5 times, and they were Panthers fans when Baker was there. Now they're part-time Bucks fans. And, all this stuff. Like,
the Twitter world is so crazy, too. I'm glad you brought that up because you guys know who Pickensburg is on Twitter?
Yeah.
Did he deactivate? Did they
Pickensburg officially deactivated their account.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Out. They said beforehand that if the
Shout out
Browns,
to Nick Padone. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Nick Padone. We were going to get to that one later. But we shout out to Pickensburg.
Oh, is it a segment? My bad.
It was not it was a segment. Happy birthday, Nick. But Pickensburg is a famous Pittsburgh troll, and they said before the Browns game that if the Steelers lost to the Browns at home, that Pickensburg, a very famous Twitter account, would deactivate their account. So the Browns quote tweeted and said, "Do it then," and officially forced their hand. Pickensburg has been deactivated. Hitler is dead, guys, and we move on forward from that one. We've got another interesting question, though. We talked about the draft capital a little bit, though. So when you move down from the 2-3 slot to about the 6 spot, I don't think that there's a huge loss in value there because I don't necessarily have all that much trust in our front office, Andrew Berry, these guys to get it done. This comes from Zach Jackson, guys. We've got a Browns trivia question. Which Andrew Berry draft picks have the most career touchdowns? You never would have guessed the top 2 without looking them up. And he never leaves his mom's basement, as they say.
So the top 2 in career touchdowns that he's drafted
with the Browns. Yep.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Incorrect.
Touchdowns.
Tutties.
He drafted
Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford. Bang. That's number 1.
Yeah. A second one? Is it DTR? Is that possible?
I mean, it wouldn't be quarterbacks, right?
Wouldn't be quarterbacks.
Career
tutties.
Well, what are the receivers? Is it like David Bell?
It's close. You're not really on the right track. Harrison Bryant, guys. Jerome Ford, 12th, and Harrison Bryant, 10th. So my point with that being is, why do we really care so much about the nitty-gritty of the top quarterbacks? Ryan's argument yesterday on The Big Factor was, if you're convinced with Fernando Mendoza at 1 or Dante Moore at 2, or vice versa, whichever order you like, then you trade up to go get your guy. Other than that, I think these draft picks are a lot of a crapshoot because you look at these guys, you never would have thought that Jerome Ford would be leading the touchdown numbers, right? So do you guys put in a lot of stock into this drop from 2 to 6 here on the draft capital?
No, I think it's one thing if, like, we totally knew these kids' college stories. Like, if Mendoza comes out and throws 3 straight 500-yard games, like, yeah, you know what? Probably will hurt a little bit more. Or if Moore comes out as the same thing, but, like, we haven't seen these kids yet. The last time I saw Mendoza play, he scored 13 points against Ohio State, just like Shedeur did against the Steelers. Like, I don't necessarily think one of these 2 is a world beater as of right now. Like, Rob, you made the point, and I don't know if it was yesterday's show or if it was last week even, like, you haven't heard the Andrew Luck thrown around yet. Like, you haven't heard these big, like, generational names attached to these guys.
Burrow,
like, there's no golden boy. Like, there's no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I think it helps because I'll stick on this forever with this football team. Anytime a decision gets made for them without them having to do it, it usually ends up working out way better. They were gonna have to make a choice when they were at 3 or 2 if they were gonna go in and make that move for that quarterback. I think it's off the table now completely. The Jets would only have to move up 1 spot. I think the Raiders are so locked. They're taking Moore or Mendoza. Whoever's left, the Jets will be like, we want them. They have 5 first-round picks between this year and next year to move up 1 spot. Anyone who even wants a quarterback, it's genuinely impossible now. We have no shot unless, like, the 8 million things happen next week for us to get our 0.1% chance to jump over some of these teams again. But even still, if you don't end up with the 2, New York's just going to leapfrog you right there because they're going to have so many more resources. Again, the quarterbacks, they may do okay. I genuinely also think that a lot of the narratives about Shedeur, about how it's not a sure thing, how, he can't read the defenses and how he's making rookie mistakes.
What are the NFL draft prospects?
Same exact comments about any rookie that we pick next year.
Yep.
Exactly.
The same exact things. And it'll all be perspective. Like, it'll just be, but he's a rookie. They'll say, it's the same grace you should give this player. But a lot of people are letting the fan base that follows the kid that has nothing to do with the player at all affect how they feel about him. Ultimately, I think that's the softest thing ever. Like, just letting who cares what people are saying on Twitter about Shedeur? If there's some delusional takes, if there's some takes that make no sense, if you're getting called this, that, and the third. The player himself, he's done nothing. He's been the humblest kid in the locker room. Everyone loves him. He's been a great kid. So if you're letting that affect how you feel about him, anything besides his play and how he conducts himself as a person, I think that's utterly stupid.
And it's just like that's what young QBs do. Like the drop pick against the Steelers, Dante Moore threw that ball and it did get intercepted against James Madison last weekend or a week and a half ago now. Like that's just like this is like that's how young kids play quarterback. Like stuff happens. It's just the reality of it.
I think the team will look better regardless next year. With this,
and if Shedeur stinks, you just draft a quarterback out the top 10 the next year.
Draft standing now the way it is, if they found a way to move up from 6 for a quarterback, I sincerely think that would hurt our chances to upgrade the team next year.
I agree.
That would mean we would, and then the years subsequently after, because that would mean you're locked in. We're 100%.
Because it's 3 picks, right?
Probably 4 you would need to give up, like a first, the two first this year, like a first and second next year, some in that ballpark, which means you better hit on.
Then how you improving the team after?
And now you have to have 2 good free agency classes. At least with this, we could try to address some pieces, hopefully get some hits, and then still have everything next year to go forward. So it's just. It hurts a lot of people. I get you wanted to hitch your horse to the new wagon, like the new guy, the shiny new toy, but that's not always the move. Like, we got a pretty shiny toy right here.
For sure.
And maybe with a little polishing and, you put him on a good stand and a nice little collector's edition box. All of a sudden, he might look like the newest shiny new toy on the block next year. So I think that's the best move forward. And a lot of people are just, they're in shock still. But they're going to come around on it. Like, if you're seriously going to say, like, there were people on Twitter saying, like, this game is going to change the course of Browns history for the next 10 years. Like, I better see Mendoza and Moore both go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, correct. And honestly, too, I don't think it's anything against Ryan, but he was the highest guy on Shedeur last year going into the draft. We would have taken him at 2 overall at this point. But you see how much that perception can change of quarterbacks, even going through the college football playoff, going through training camp, getting more reps, anything like that. There's a lot more things that go into this at this point. But, guys, we talked about it a little bit. The sky is falling in Pittsburgh right now. The sky is absolutely falling. We heard Trey Essex. We saw Trey Essex on Twitter. You got to tune into the Snap Count on the Big Play Sports Network, guys. We're going to dive into that next because the Steelers have a winner-take-all for the AFC North game coming up next, or the division, I should say, coming up next. And they're not even favorites on their own home field. We'll dive into that next, coming up on the Big Factor. Welcome on back into the Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Guys, it's perfect timing. We gotta look at that pale wrist right there. No watch on my wrist right now for Shedeur Sanders. But the Browns still coming off of that 13-6 win over the Steelers on Sunday. That feels like it could have been weeks ago at this point. We're only like 48 hours out basically. But as you're watching this on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network, but guys, with that loss, the sky is kind of falling for the Steelers. We saw our guys Trey Essex and Charlie Batch yesterday on the Snap Count. They lost all confidence in head coach Mike Tomlin. They've got a winner-take-all game for the AFC North on their home field, and they open as 3.5-point underdogs to the Baltimore Ravens. Time will tell if Lamar Jackson is going to play with that back issue. But, guys, if the Steelers lose this game on their home field, is it the end of the Mike Tomlin era in Pittsburgh?
Can I spin zone? I think it'd be the most Steelers thing ever to win this game, because now is when everyone is like nationally Scott out on the Steelers, just for them to get the home playoff game one more time and lose in Wild Card Weekend. Then I think we have this conversation again.
Whoever wins is playing Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that won't go well for either of those teams.
I don't know, man.
Dude,
like DK
I was thinking about it. There's a chance the AFC North looks so different next year. Like obviously, like A-Rod's probably not getting run back in Pittsburgh. Like at at least they're probably drafting a quarterback and coming in with him for one more final year.
Versus Will Howard quarterback.
It's gonna be a Ty Simpson versus Will Howard QB battle.
Oh,
and I was reading Mike Sando had an article on The Athletic yesterday about like the odds like seeming increasingly high that Lamar could get traded out of Baltimore, and like they're gonna have to start having that debate of like whether or not it's worth like seeing if Lamar can ride out the final few years on his contract. What
if he doesn't play? Like if he sits out of the game, I think he's leaving.
They were saying.
I agree.
So Mike Sando threw out like he called it like the Luka trade of the NFL, and it wasn't. Before I say the two names, you guys will laugh, but there's more with it. Lamar to Minnesota. JJ McCarthy reunites with the Harbaugh brother, and they get a crap ton of picks with Lamar. Or accompanying JJ McCarthy.
Lamar Jackson and Justin Jefferson would be cinema.
Him to me, but the more
he's never had a receiver like.
But
that,
I guess
bro.
the more like concrete thought of like I think Lamar might have gone to high school like 40 miles north of where the Dolphins play their home games. So like and they got the whole Tua thing going on. So like it seems like Lamar might want to go to Miami, which could also make that. I mean the AFC East then like if Drake May and the Patriots can keep doing this and the Bills are good. Yeah, maybe Tyreek wants to stay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no. I mean, so I just think like
shake up like that.
But that's what I'm saying is like the AFC North even like next year could be so wide open.
Correct.
Like considering the fact that I'm going to go on a limb here, guys. I could be wrong. The Bengals might not figure out their defense again. Like there's a chance that doesn't get done in the offseason. So
as James Rapine said, like they went.
Can I talk you guys into the Browns winning the AFC North right now next year?
Hey man, I don't actually hate it that much.
I'm so in.
Think about the butterfly effect that this Browns win could have had on the entire division. We could see a Super Bowl winning coach on either side of this game be fired afterwards because the Ravens, there's a lot of rumblings as well that John Harbaugh could be gone as well if they lose this game because they came in as tied for the best Super Bowl favorites on the FanDuel Sportsbook coming into this season. They were my Super Bowl pick, guys. Like Lamar Jackson, I thought he was going to go to a completely upper echelon. And if both of these teams in the AFC North, Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh, don't make the playoffs, like barely make the playoffs, I should say, I mean, one of them heads have to roll, like
this
you said.
This is honestly such a win-lose game because if you win this game, like, yeah, you make the playoffs, but you get to lose to Josh Allen by 70 points on your home field.
Man.
Ravens would have a chance to win.
Yeah,
I think if the Steelers go, they got no shot. That's crazy,
you lose, you fire your coach, and you get Malik Willis.
Shador might have started a butterfly effect moment because if we lose, that game has no meaning.
No meaning.
Lamar sits out again, he rests. Like that update this week is going to be huge if he plays in the game or not. Like that'll be very telling.
Right?
He's got to play, right?
I mean, his future. Then also, if he has a bad game, that could be the end of it. That could be it. Like, but he's been hurt all year. His back, that hasn't been Lamar. Like, we haven't seen the craziest plays, but you know what's in there whenever he does get healthy. Like, same thing. We could see Mike Tomlin get fired. The Pittsburgh era, a whole new era. Imagine they hire a bad coach and now they're in mediocrity. Now they can't find a head coach.
That'll never happen.
On the coaching carousel.
Talk about generational hate watch. One of Rob's favorite phrases, generational hate watch.
Yeah, no,
I'm absolutely seated. It'll be Sunday Night Football this week. Exclusive, absolutely.
Same thing with that Bucks game. I'm hate watching.
Yeah,
I'm saying it about Baker. I'm hate watching. I'm a Bryce Young guy.
Bryce Young guy, baby.
Ted McMillan. Crazy.
I was looking, though. So I think Lamar in his 2 MVP seasons has like ridiculously high EPAs. Like we're talking like it's like the number one in the 2000s, and like the other one is like number 3 in the 2000s. But since that second MVP season, like his EPA by play, well obviously EPAs by play, so it's kind of a dumb statement out of yours truly right here. But like his EPA is like a stone's throw above Jacoby Brissett and Kyler Murray, and like one spot behind Joe Burrow, who hasn't really been healthy or playing his best football in his last 30 or so games. So like, if you guys are like, so let's go pick the exact scenario. We'll say Lamar plays, Ravens win a close one, lose in the wild card round. Is Lamar back?
I don't
know. Do you think that team runs it back then?
The thing with the Ravens, I swear I just said this about the Bills. They're doing the same thing. They still haven't gotten him enough. The defense is slowly declined. You got the one guy, I think.
Who are like the top 5 receivers of the Lamar era?
Zay Flowers is like number 1, and that's disgusting.
And then like,
I mean,
what I'm saying. And
there was a nice Devin Duvernay year or two in there.
Mark Andrews, when he was still good, was a great weapon. Yeah. And Zay Flowers was an okay secondary
Rashad Bateman
player.
for a little bit there.
Bad player. Always dropping.
Isaiah Likely.
Ooh, that's what I'm saying. Like
Devin Duvernay.
The Derrick Henry pickup was great. That was like the peak. Like that read option still feeds families when they do it, when it's out there. But yeah, it's another team that just hasn't got him enough, and they've drafted I think Bateman was a first-round pick.
Yeah, first-round pick.
They put and now the defense isn't what it once was. They got Kyle Hamilton out there, but Marlon Humphrey's slowly on the downcline.
He stinks.
They got Alexander. Did he even finish the season?
Jair Alexander, I don't believe so.
Like Nate Wiggins is a good corner. They got Roquan Smith in the middle, but it's not the same Ravens of old. Like, they might have to turn the page too. Like, teams are aging in this division. Like, is it the great time for the Browns to be young?
Could it be?
But also, like, how good would you feel right now if, like, you got to go back, like, to the Deshaun trade and stuff, but, like, if you actually peaked to where you thought as an organization you were supposed to be in 2025, like, how nice things would be right now, which never happened.
The big thing to me, though, guys, is we talk about this being a culture win for the Browns. I don't think this is a franchise-altering change in terms of the actual culture that Kevin Stefanski had, but you bring in guys like, or you're trying to keep in the building guys like Myles Garrett. That was an important win. I don't care what anyone says about Kevin Stefanski, about the draft capital. That was an important win for Myles Garrett to get because these guys needed a win for at least something. When we got that snow win last year against the Steelers, you saw the same thing. Like, people rallied behind Jameis Winston. They rallied together, rallied behind Carson Schwarzenegger on Sunday. He was playing with one leg on one ankle. It was important for those guys in the locker room. And honestly, you take that moving forward, like, can they capitalize it? Only time will tell next year as you move forward. But you had to have that win for the Browns and people like Myles Garrett to actually at least want to stay over the offseason, at least hopefully get Myles Garrett to stay in there and not get another trade request over the offseason, something along those lines. It's going to be crazy to see here in Berea as we move forward, guys. We only got one game left. They're on the road this Sunday at the Bengals. That game is completely meaningless. Joe Burrow will play in this game, though, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of reminds me a little bit, and these coaches haven't had similar tenures or anything, and Kevin's might come to an end. But, like, do you remember when Mike Patton, like, his first year, like, I think they, like, might have actually started hot and then had, like, a really, really rough back half of the season. Like, I think they might have won 2 games at the end of the year to keep his job and move him into year 2. Like, there are little culture moments, or even if it is not resetting a culture, or, oh, the Browns are back and we're all playing Here We Go Again every Sunday next year, waking up with our old Browns jerseys on, like, but there's a path up from here. Like that's the nice thing. And, like, it does, I think Nick made the point on the show yesterday, like, it at least gives you the blueprint of, like, okay, hey, we can play really good defense with this current core and find a way, put some pieces together on the offense, make that more respectable, and try and win some games 20-17 next year.
Yeah, I mean, that's the strategy for the Kevin Stefanski and the Browns, guys. Any other final thoughts as we move off of the Browns towards college football?
Yeah, I got one for you.
Okay.
Absolutely fired up last night after catching Monday Night Football. Xavier Watts, who, if you listen to the Big Factor, you would know was a massive Big Factor pick for the Browns to draft before the NFL draft rolled around. You miss out on Jalen Milroe at 92. Okay, you're going to trade up and make your sexy pick to go get a quarterback at 94. You skip out on, what was this kid from the... Yeah, Jared Wilson, drafted as a center out of Georgia. He's been playing exemplary guard all season long for your New England Patriots. Xavier Watts, I think 4 interceptions now, Rob, right?
I believe it is.
I think he's got 5.
Oh, no, he got 5 with the second one yesterday.
Yeah.
5, second amongst, I think, first amongst rookies in picks.
Second in all
in the NFL, and you passed up on him. 13 interceptions in his final 2 years of college for Dylan Gabriel. So, yeah.
Yeah. Do we need that position at all? Did we need help?
I mean, like,
Hickman's smooth.
you could improve on Ronnie Hickman,
Like
there's no...
He's a playmaker, though.
Yeah, for sure. But
It's not like Dylan Gabriel improved you anywhere else, like...
Coming out of the draft without that guy was tough. I wanted Nicky Memori, but we would have taken Xavier Watts at this point too. But, guys, we got to move forward with the Cavs. They got back on track last night against the San Antonio Spurs, against the alien Victor Wembanyama, as well as some college football games coming up. I was almost going to say this weekend, but it's tomorrow already.
Yeah.
The Buckeyes kick off tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. But we'll discuss that more when we get back on The Big Factor. welcome back into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Pat McGorry, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson. Guys, the Cavs got back on track. It feels like the first time in 84 years, like Rose said on the Titanic and Bobby Carpenter said yesterday, but it feels like the first time in 84 years the Cavs got a legitimate win over a good team. They won 113-101 over the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio as well. The Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, they're 23-9. The Cavs improved to 18-16. I did not think that would be the record at this point in the 34 games in at this point, guys. Jared Allen, Rob, that was where we got to start. Is he played really well, Jack, against the Spurs. I did not anticipate that coming, Rob, but you take this with a little grain of salt at all?
I mean, here's what it
27
is.
27 and 10.
Well, great game though. First off, let's start there. Great game. We are the Sour Patch.
We're clapping it up. Okay.
We are the Sour Patch Cavs.
Yep.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's sour, sometimes sweet. You see it one day, you see it another. If he played like that every game, I'd love him.
Yep.
But then you're gonna get a 6-8 performance in a couple of weeks. So I love the win. Jalen Tyson continues to just be my favorite player on the team on the lowest of keys. Like, he just always comes through, makes the biggest plays. He's always giving you big old boards, hitting great threes, catching lobs. Like, he just plays with so much fire. Darius Garland looking firmly back. Even though it was an ugly game last night, like, neither team shooting the ball well at all. But, Jared and Mobley, they performed, bro. They got it done in the front court. They protected the rim. Like, the Spurs are a very drive and kick team, and they weren't getting any good looks at the rim. Like, it was all tough, all contested. Jared does a great job on Wemby. It was a great night. They got a win in an ugly game. So
26 and 14 from Wemby, and that's still a good game from Jared Allen.
Yeah, you can't complain about a win. Just like I said about the Browns, can never complain about a win. Just begging for consistency eventually with this.
Because importantly enough, Jack, they were physical with Wemby. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, they were able to control Wembanyama to the extent that you can against him down in the low post, stuff like that. But Jack, you were impressed by the Cavs?
Yes, I was. And so usually what I'll do is if I catch a Cavs game live, which I had the chance to last night, is I'll text Rob a couple of questions throughout the game. Finally put on my big thinking cap. Hey, I can just ask him the questions on the show the next day, so we have more Cavs stuff to talk about. Holding the Spurs to their lowest shooting percentage from the floor all year, unreal. Love the after how the fellas. Rob, 3 questions for you from the game from last night. First one for you, Lonzo Believa healthy last night. What's going on with the kid?
Benched. Not been playing.
So it's just, do you think is it CPJ's job from now on?
Until he starts playing bad. I definitely like matchup based. Like the Spurs are a super young team. There's going to be a lot of up and down. We just needed what Chris, like, you saw Tomlin play, you saw CPJ play, you saw Tyson play, Merrill's back. Like, we got to give Sam more minutes, and especially since we decided to bring him off the bench, someone's minutes had to get diced. Obviously was Lonzo's. They went with CPG off the bench. He made more plays. He's been a better shooter this season. He's been more explosive. He brings just as much effort on defense. He's a great rebounder for his size. Like, he really he's gritty. Like, and if Lonzo's going to go out there and score 0 points, shoot 15% from the field, you might as well give CPJ some opportunity. We've been saying that since last year. We wanted to see him get some more shots. Lonzo just hasn't been getting it done. So as it stands, I wouldn't say he's just out of the lineup for sure. But it's definitely a competition for that.
The lucky thing about that acquisition, though, Rob, is it didn't really cost you that much. Isaac Okoro wouldn't really, in my opinion, be that important to the rotation right now. No. So it's kind of a lottery ticket with Lonzo. You take it. But honestly, currently, it's not scratching off for you. So,
all right, really. Question number 2 for you. So we saw a lot of Dean Wade on the court last night at the same time as Mobley and Allen. Was that more of a be able to switch like 3 to 5 because of Wemby type thing, or could we see more of that going in the future?
He's in the starting lineup as
well.
They've
been starting Dean. I think Dean's going to start all the way until Max Strus is healthy. I think that's what we're now going with. Tyson is he's proven he could do it starting and off the bench. DeAndre Hunter has proven, even though he's been wildly inconsistently this year, that it's probably better for him to come off the bench. Dean Wade is that filler guy that's going to come in and be the glue guy. Not as good at Max Strus as what he does, but is a better defender and can hit shots when open and has time. He hit a couple in the first half yesterday. So I think that's really just what it is. Dean will be your starter until Max Strus gets back and is fully going, and then he'll reinsert into the lineup, and then Dean will have his spot in that bench rotation working with those guys.
And my first 2 questions were very much so about basketball. So as you know, the third one will have nothing to do with the actual game that took place on the hardwood itself, but it does involve the hardwood.
Okay.
I am a massive fan of the Spurs Fiesta jerseys. I believe it was a look they used in the past for at least like a 10-year period. Why are those not permanent? Like the teal and the pink and the orange thrown in with the black and the silver.
Those are pretty
tough jerseys. I don't know. Those are an all-time favorite of mine, but the jerseys they wear are kind of part of the era. Like it got stamped once Tim Duncan got there, and they started to have that success. David Robinson, like that's been what the Spurs are for the past couple of years. They've stuck with that script all the way through from Robinson to Duncan through to the back eras to Kawhi, and now to where we are with Wemby. But they'll always mix those in. Like, did you tune in for the start? Like, they had a Bad Bunny special intro for wearing those jerseys. Like,
it did not catch
with
that.
the drum
cool.
and stuff.
It was super cool.
There's a lot of European basketball vibes over there in San Antonio right now, which is pretty cool. Because
they're doing like the Icelandic clap, the skull clap. I saw that.
There's a lot going on out there.
Well, not last night.
Wemby's trying to build a culture out there. In San Antonio.
ethically as well.
Ethically.
As well. Guys, we're gonna pivot to college football here as we're gonna dive right in. We got one football game coming up on New Year's Eve. It's your Ohio State Well, it's my Ohio State Buckeyes. Sorry, Jack. But the Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the Miami Hurricanes at the Cotton Bowl, and they open up as fairly heavy favorites. Last I saw was 9.5 for the Buckeyes. Ohio State goes into Dallas. There's going to be a big contingent of Ohio State fans. Miami fans do not travel well. That was a big talking point on the Bobby Carpenter show this week. Had it been A&M, that's a home game.
Yeah.
But the Buckeyes doing themselves a favor. I think 9.5 is not too big of a number to cover. But, Jack, where do you see this one going?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and even if Miami traveled well, like, look at what Ohio State did last year in the Cotton Bowl against Texas. Like, you couldn't think of a bigger potential neutral site home game than the Longhorns playing in the Cotton Bowl, and Captain Jack Sawyer and the fellas got it done just fine. I actually think Miami covers. I think it's going to be like closer, or maybe it will be like a 10-point game right on that line right there. But I think Vegas knows what they're doing. They said it well. I think that in terms of like actual like size, athleticism, like I think Miami does match up closer to pound for pound with Ohio State than a lot of people around here at least will give them credit for, but it's not enough to get it done because they don't have the skill position guys like Fletcher in the running game. Like I would take Bo Jackson personally. Like I know Bo Jackson doesn't have the stats that Fletcher does. Receiver, I mean, you have Tate, Innis, and Smith. Like you have three that are better than Malachi Toney, even if he did have a great freshman season. Like the weapons just aren't there to keep up with Ohio State for 4 quarters. Like I think it's like a 24-17 type game, but like maybe like a late field goal to make it from 24-14 to 14-17.
Mostly in control the whole time.
Miami's performance comes solely down to if they decide to put Michael Irvin in there to give a pregame speech. There's no one that could. There's low-key no better motivational speaker on planet Earth than Michael Irvin, and then they got to have him in the middle of the sideline, like all like doing the dog, like just crashing out. Like they need that. That's the only energy and hope that could be instilled in those young men to compete with Ohio State.
That's the thing is like if I'm ranking human beings who I don't want to go into battle with for like a massive football game, Mario Cristobal and Carson Beck are right up towards the top of that list. Yeah. So there's an element of that.
Yeah, I've actually got a theory that Michael Irvin is actually Moondog, because if you've ever seen him at the Cavs games, Moondog has a lot of very similar attributes.
Like mannerisms?
Mannerisms, that's the word I was looking for. The way he kind of like gets down on all fours and is like barking at people and everything like that. Michael Irvin. But guys, it's also a rematch of the 2003 National Championship game. We just talked about this.
I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. Was that the year you were born?
That was one.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Little Craig Krenzel?
Little Craig Krenzel. I remember watching that one. But Craig Krenzel, they won that one. I believe it was in overtime, was it not? Or if
it was in overtime after the
controversial finish.
After the
PI.
Worst PI call of all time.
The worst missed PI of all time. But
you'll get a national championship one day, man.
Yeah. There'll be 18 first-round picks in that 2003 national championship game. There's a lot of talent in this one as well. Ohio State had, 13 last year? You could have that many this year. I don't think the talent for Miami is going to be able to stack up with the Buckeyes. I understand that they're playing really well. They were able to survive at Kyle Field against Texas A&M. But, guys, I think that Ohio State just has too much. I don't know about covering, but I think Ohio State and Arvell Reese, that defensive line, they're going to get home against Carson Beck. And if you pressure him, that's kind of it for Miami. Like, they cannot really survive pressure. I think Ohio State handles this one pretty handily.
Well, that's just their huge issue, too, is, like, I at least when I think of, like, beating a team like Ohio State, like, I think it's very hard to, like, just matriculate the ball up and down the field on them. Like, I think Indiana's offense would agree with me after watching their 13 points against them. You have to be able to hit the big play at some point. Like, even if it's just, like, a 25-yard play. It doesn't need to be a 70-yard play, but like that's the thing that Miami has struggled with the most, arguably, is like Miami gives up a decent amount of big plays and they don't get a lot of big plays themselves. So like if you find yourself in like Jeremiah goes down just like 70-yard fade route out of nowhere, like they don't have that punch to throw back.
I think it'll be one of those games where it sounds cool for a little minute, like in the beginning, like it's okay, Miami going through their scripted whatever. one thing's going to go wrong, and then I think the dam will break, and then it'll become increasingly less competitive from there on out.
I think we're not ready to watch this Ohio State running game. I think the Buckeyes, Bo Jackson, and is Isaiah West or Bryce West? I can't remember, but Isaiah West. Yeah,
I might be Bryce West. I might be Cap.
Yeah, I think there's two of them actually. So that's the boys on the show get it mixed up as well. So I believe it's Isaiah West. But that running game for the Buckeyes, I think they're gonna hit some screens early on in the game. And Jack, you'll love this. Bobby talked about this the other day, and it was the 2006 Fiesta Bowl, Ohio State against Notre Dame.
Why would I love that?
I'm about to tell you, it was an awesome Charlie Weiss thing. So
we lost by 25.
Well, anyway, so for the bit, Jack, we're gonna do Notre Dame ran 8 straight screens to start the game to try to control that Ohio State defensive line, and those linebackers, Bobby Carpenter, Anthony Schlegel, AJ Hawk, ran 8 straight screens and ended up with a touchdown to begin the game. They suggest that Ohio State would do that as well against Miami.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Notre Dame loves that first drive touchdown against Ohio State. That's one thing about
they sure do love it.
Were you like a big Brady Quinn guy when you were a kid?
Honestly, I was like too little to really remember him at Notre Dame. Wow. But I had like one of like the first Browns jersey I remember having is a Brady Quinn Browns jersey.
How about that?
But I mean, like, do I wish I could say I remember him like tossing balls to Jeff Samardzija down the field? Like I do, but
let's ask Patio about that today. Ask
Patio.
him
I will.
You gotta get an answer
I remember where I was for the Bush push. I can give you that.
Okay. All right. Wow. Jeff Samardzija, reliever or starting pitcher for the Cubs?
Yeah, former 1,000-yard college receiver turned
Isaiah
Cubs
West
number 3.
Confirmed, by the way.
Confirmed.
We had it.
Okay.
What about James Peoples?
James Peoples.
Former Big Factor guest.
Yeah, Big Factor guest, guys.
I think he still is a Big Factor guest.
We got so much more to get into, guys, on the Big Factor. We have our FanDuel parlay of the day, and then we're going to get out of here after this quick break on the Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Pat McGuire, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson. Guys, we are headed over towards our FanDuel parlay of the day.
I love it, Pat.
Love it? You got to love our FanDuel parlay day. It's a quick little 3-legger for the parlay, but I got to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel.
Please do.
Yeah, please do. You know how fast the NFL game days move. One big play and everything changes. That's why live betting on FanDuel is a game changer. With FanDuel, you can bet in real time while the game unfolds. Score just flipped, jump on a new spread or live money line. That wide receiver's heating up. Bet the next touchdown score or total yards. Think that drive stalls in the red zone, take a live field goal prop, or fade the total. Live player props, team totals, drive results, updated spreads, next play markets, it's all there. It's fast, it's fun, and with FanDuel, your live bets move as quickly as the game does. So whether you're riding momentum or fading the hype, FanDuel puts you right in the middle of every moment. Visit FanDuel.com/BigPlay to download the app and bet the NFL live all season long. You got to be 21 plus in the great state of Ohio or 21 plus in the great state of Pennsylvania. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Jack, we got a pretty good FanDuel parlay of the day for you today.
I'm very excited about this one.
And we'll take it away.
All right, let's do it, folks. We're starting. Oh, we got a little bit of soccer. We're heading out to the pitch, Rob. I didn't know about this.
Cheeky.
No one tell me about this. Oh, three-way money line Chelsea. They're the Lions, right? Lions, something like that.
So. Yeah,
they were blue. I know that. They were blue. And we're taking Chelsea. Three-way money line. USC -5.5. The Fighting Jade and Mayavas are taking on the Horned Frogs. And you know they're going to get it done. In what bowl game is this, Pat?
Oh, geez, I don't even know. In
the Big Play Bowl, USC is going to get it done, -5.5. And last but not least, folks, I know you love that Ivy League basketball. One team, whoever wins the Ivy League, they're going to get that 11-6 upset every single year. Everyone talks about it. But hey, It ain't going to be Princeton if they're taking out of conference losses to the Cataracts of Vermont. Same thing.
Lord.
Vermont money line. We're taking the fellas. They're taking this one. We're going on the road. OTR, Chelsea, 3-way money line. USC minus 5.5 spread. Fight on. You'll never hear me say that again.
Wow.
Vermont money line. Let's get it done. Wow.
You know who on Chelsea does this?
Fight on. From
Chelsea
USC
does this?
No, they got their star player does this.
Jack,
Oh,
what's
so he's
his
like
name,
Caleb
son?
Williams.
Cold Palmer.
Cole Palmer. Man. Guys,
He's
we
in
got
it, bruv.
the Hoyers Destroyers did come through. I know we got to get this at the very end of the show here, Jack. No Bree Pete, no Bree money.
I'm upset.
No Bree money line for my girlfriend on the fantasy football line. I'm gonna do the little celebration.
Oh.
I hit I got that one. Hoyers Destroyers came through for me. Sorry to everybody else in the Big Play League, but guys, that was a great big factor as it always is. Thank you for tuning in.
We have a special guest tomorrow.
Special guest tomorrow. A little special guest to talk the college football games tomorrow.
Ooh.
Got to tune in there tomorrow.
Can't say who though.
Big Play who? Same time, same place tomorrow for the